everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Getting Speakers Booked, a podcast by speakers for speakers on every tips, tricks, and all the experiences, so many experiences that other speakers have gone through to share their wisdom with you. I'm your host, Macy Baxi. As always, if you are a speaker listening and watching and you love being connected with other speakers and you want to be connected in a community of like-minded speakers, the link in the description is our Global Speaker Circle group on Facebook. It's free to join. Come on in. We share tips every single Friday for Friday networking. And if you by happen chance hear this before our event, next weekend is our Speaker JV boot camp for speakers who want to connect with other speakers and network and get on stages. So that's coming up on November 14th and 15th. If by any chance you're in Orlando, Florida and want to come on by. But today I'm super excited to have my guest, Debbie Simmons, with us today. Debbie, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Awesome. Well, Debbie and I know each other. We met briefly a few days ago, but we are going to be speaking at the Goal Achievers Summit this December 29th and 30th in Orlando, Florida together. And her story and how she kind of came to be and how she got onto the Goal Achiever Summit stage is absolutely so magnificent, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But Debbie, I'm so excited to share the stage with you. So why don't you tell everyone just a little bit about you, what you do, and how you help people?
Sure. I get a couple of different titles to my resume, and I would say the first one is I'm known as the legacy architect, and that is I help people build legacy so that they live it now and leave it later. So I love to do that in my coaching and book writing and all of that good stuff that I get to do. But also, I get to be the CEO of a nonprofit called Anchor Point that helps families thrive. It's something that I founded 15 years ago and has continued to grow and literally impacts thousands each and every year. And so it's a blessing to be able to lead that organization with the fantastic team that we have. And then I get the wonderful, label of mom of 9 adopted children. And
Wow.
then I am a grandma. They call me Lolly because I have 15 grandchildren now. So those are my wonderful titles that I get to have in life. So,
Oh my gosh, Debbie, you must be a very busy lady in every aspect of your life. 2 organizations, a nonprofit, coaching, and then more children that I can probably count. That is
it's a baseball
incredible.
team. It's a
Oh
baseball
my
team,
gosh,
but
it is.
they are all adults, and now it's grandkids, and they grandkids are wonderful. They keep you young and excited about life, and I just love hanging with the ones that I get to hang with all the time.
That's incredible. That's amazing. I
Mhm.
love hearing about different things like that in your life because I think it's so something to be proud of, obviously. I'm
Yes.
so excited to have kids when that time of my life comes. Right now I do like part-time childcare at my local church, which I feel like is very kind of similar to like a grandparent where you get to have all the fun with them and then they have to go back. They get to go back and then they get to be disciplined somewhere else, but I get to have all the fun with them, right?
That's right. It's great. It's wonderful.
Well, tell me a little bit about, building a legacy. How do you really help people do that? Because that is something every person wants. Entrepreneur, person at a job, or they want to become a CEO. But it's always the legacy I always hear come back to.
Right. And so I think a lot of us have successes in life and are doing pretty good and everything like that. And then this feeling comes over us of like, is there something more? Like, is there something bigger? Is this really all there is to life? Once we hit certain goals and things like that. And that is a wonderful place to be because it takes us from success and it's drawing us to significance. And
Mm.
that in between space, so that frustration that you kind of get, and you're like, what is it? That is a wonderful place to be. And so, what I really help people do is really stop and think about what their purpose is here on earth. What were they created to do in the time that they had to do it? That if they don't do it, it might never happen. Right.
Mm.
And so, I think about like God took me in this. journey of starting this nonprofit, that was not on my radar. And it was like not something, but now it's something that I get to leave behind that is still going to impact thousands of people even after I'm gone. And that is amazing to be part of that, because that truly is about significance. And I learned this through pain and losing my boys. I had quads, and my boys died in my arms. And I remember very clearly that I went, eternity matters. And
Mm-hmm.
everything that I need to do between now and when I get here needs to be very intentional. And so what happens is we get so busy in life that we just do whatever the next thing is, and the next thing is, and the next thing is, and eventually we die. And then whatever they write is our legacy. Well, I'm just challenging us to stop and start thinking about, like, what those things that we do, how can we make sure they are very intentional now, so we live a legacy, and then that gives us the opportunity to leave it. And that is just a mind shift change, and slowing down and focusing in. And most of us just don't take the time to do it. But if you've got that feeling wandering around like, is this all there is? That's a great time to get a coach for that, to help you, like, think about what all is rolling around in your brain. Just get it out and find where you can be very strategic. And each of us is called to something different. We're here for, many different reasons. But I think if we can find our sweet spots and stay like that, the world will be a whole better place, because we will be making impact left and right. And that will be for now and for eternity.
Absolutely. And I think it's so powerful. And thank you so much for sharing about your kids, because it's so easy. And I don't want to ever downplay anything like that, where other people go through and they have different reactions to it, right? Every reaction is like a good or a valid reaction, because there's no one way that you're supposed to react to something like that happening. But I think it's so amazing that you were able to twist that and say, hey, I don't the good in it is that I understand eternity is forever, and it matters, and everything that I'm doing right now is going to
Mhm.
matter in the long run. And I think when we think about our faith like this, or we think about what forever looks like, I think people get scared. And I know I've gotten scared too. It's like, what does that mean? Like, I'm going to be with myself forever. It's kind of like a weird thought process for me as a kid, where I'm like figuring out who I am. It's like, I'm
Sure.
going to be like this forever. No, but there's that like level of intention that you talked about that is so important for us to feel on a day-to-day
Mhm.
basis, that everything
Mhm.
we do matters. The world is so big, and with social
Mhm.
media we feel even smaller than I think we've ever felt in our
Mhm.
whole lives. We knew the world existed outside of us, but having to see that every single day, I think it makes us feel insignificant. So for you to be there for people and say, hey, this is how we can frame your life, this is how you can walk through your life, with every single decision you make matters, and not in a scary way, but in like,
Yeah.
I can impact people with every decision I make. If I go out and I get a cup of coffee and I like compliment the barista or something, that matters to them in the long run, right? It's
Mhm.
not like a scary
Mhm.
thought. It's like, hey, I can make someone's day better.
Mhm.
And that would be like a small decision, right? So I think that's so amazing how you're able to frame it for other people, and I know that's so helpful for so many people.
Mhm.
I want to give a quick shout out, because you mentioned that you're an author, and you have just such a generous gift to offer to our listeners today. Can you talk a little bit about that really quick?
Sure, and it goes along with this being very intentional. It does encapsulate my story, but the bigger part in there is there's a whole section in this book that will help you live a focused, faithful, and fearless life. And it's
Love
all
that.
application. And so the book is called The Heart of Legacy. And it was something that I just was prompted to release about a year and a half ago, to just open that story up to the world and to say, here, learn from mine. And hopefully it'll save you some problems. And then also, let's be impact players. And this is a way for us to do it and to make a difference. So anybody can have that book. It's absolutely free. It's my gift. And they just need to go to theheartoflegacy.com and they can get it. And it's a wonderful tool. If you're stuck, it'll help you get unstuck. And if you've had this success and you've got these questions like, Does it really matter? This is where you can go to significance. So it'll work you through both of those scenarios. And then the other wonderful thing you'll get to see is in the back part of the book is all stories of life change over the years and decade or more of the work that we've done at Anchor Point. And so you get to see how those lives have gone from stuck to unstuck to significance. And it's just amazing to be a part of that. And so I would encourage you to grab it and pass it on to someone else too, because it will make a difference.
I love that. No, thank you so much. That is so generous, and I know a lot of people could benefit from something like that. So I will make sure I have Debbie's link that she mentioned in the description, comment, like whatever wherever you might find the about section of this episode, so you can click, copy and paste, whatever makes it easier for you to reach out and take that step for yourself, because it's so important that we're constantly checking up on ourselves and how we feel, and what our next steps in life look like. I think we start to lose control when we don't, or we start to feel worse about ourselves when we don't have that control and we don't know what that next step looks like. So that's so generous, Debbie. I really appreciate it. Which I think brings me to my last point, which I'm so excited for, which is the Goal Achievers Summit in Orlando, Florida on December 29th and 30th. We still have some tickets available. So can you talk to us a little bit about what does this summit mean to you, and what are you going to be sharing from the stage?
Sure. So the Goal Achiever Summit, I think, is a wonderful time to just pull away and kind of even do some of that intentional thinking for impact. But also, it gives you a time just to refresh and to go, new ideas, new thoughts, recenter, set some goals for ourselves as we go into the new year, because a lot of times we just get stuck in the busy, busy, busy. And this is just a time to pull away. And the other thing I think is very valuable is the people that you meet. It's not just the things that you hear, but it's the people that you meet that are moving forward together, and you can get some great connections that will help you. And it might be just the connection you need to take it to the next level. And so I'm excited to be there. From the stage, we will talk about, for me, is this concept of when the fog comes. And that is, the fog comes and it kind of clouds our vision and we don't really know where to go. But how can we figure our way through the fog? Because challenges are going to come and we're going to need to make our way through. So how do we persevere and continue on? And sometimes the fog is the path, and we just have to lean in, and we don't always know how to do that. So we'll be talking about that from the stage.
Oh my gosh, that is going to be incredible. And I loved what you were talking about networking and who you can connect with. Because I think another important point is that there's going to be a few of us speakers on the stage, you could say, right? There's a good bunch of us. And I know that everyone that I've talked to, they're not planning on just coming in for their talk and heading out, right? They want to be in the crowd. They're going to be like, I'm going to be listening to your talk. And I know there's so many other people whose talk. I'm just so excited. And I don't even know how my brain is going to handle all of these talks. And on top of giving my own, like I don't even know what I'm gonna do, right? But I'm excited. So we're gonna be there, we're gonna be in the crowd, we're gonna be talking to people. So if you guys have if people have questions and they're like, hey, I understand what Debbie was talking about, but I need more, I know that you're gonna be helping other people on the next day, possibly, on helping them with what they're doing. But you'll just be there talking to people. We're going to be accessible. You can ask us questions. So this isn't just like one of those, oh, there's people on the stage, but they're fine. Like, they're better off than me. Like, they don't know what I'm talking about. They don't know how I feel. Hey, we're going to be there at the event just like you. So I think that's going to be my favorite part about it, is that so many of the speakers, they're all so humble, and they're all so kind, and they're all so giving, just like you, Debbie. So we're going to be there, and we just want to make sure that it's the best experience for the audience, and it's not about us. I know my talk, hopefully people don't think it's just about me. It's about them and how I know that they can receive it. So I'm super excited. If you are interested, on December 29th and 30th of 2025 to be here in Orlando, Florida, sunny Orlando, Florida, if you're not from Florida, this is a great excuse to come down, hang out, learn so much. You can write it off as a business expense, right? Go see the parks, have a great time. Come on down. The link will be in the description on how to get your tickets. Make sure to save your tickets if you have any questions about your tickets. I know me and Debbie are always here to answer questions. Debbie, is there any last thing you kind of want to throw out there before you wrap it up, either about Goal Achievers, about you, how you help people, if people want
Yeah.
to contact you to learn more about how you can help them?
Yeah, so I would say I'll also have a booth at the Goal Achievers thing, so you can
Oh,
just come by
amazing.
because that's where I'll be hanging out. And
Yay!
then I will also do one of the breakout sessions too.
Yes.
And so there'll be lots of opportunities. So I'm going to be there the whole time. So I'm very excited about that. And then I would say if you're interested in maybe some coaching or to learn more about things that I do and the social media aspects and all that stuff, you can go to thedebbieSimmons.com. And that will give you all of the information about that. And I'd love for you to, I think my people say like, share, follow, whatever I'm supposed to do. And if you'll do that, that would be great. And we're super excited. I have a collaboration with another person that's on a journey with me that we're looking at starting a podcast called Living Your Legacy. And that will be great insight. So that'll be coming. So you want to be tuned in for that. But I'm just excited that we get to take this time at the end of December and really focus in and hone in on, what our next best steps are. And when we plan our way, it's amazing how much closer we get to our goals every time, right? You can't hit what you haven't thought about. So this is what we're here to do for that. So it'll be fun.
Definitely. Well, thank you again, Debbie, for your time.
Yeah.
This has been so amazing. I love this topic so much, and I love everything that you're sharing. So again, if any of you guys have any questions on the Facebook group, on Goal Achievers Summit, or on Debbie's book, all of the links that we have mentioned or contact points are going to be in the description. So you can click, copy, and paste, whatever makes it easier. Until next time, we'll talk very soon, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bye.